think we're okay.
Hi, Marie. Good, how are you?
Yeah.
Good?
Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Okay, good to see you. All ready, Rob?
Thanks. Yes.
Where are we at?
6:57.
Okay. Good to go, 6:57, public. 4. Who wants to speak, or are you all together, are you all separate, or?
We're basically together, and I guess I'm going to speak.
You're it, man. Hit it.
Well, following up on our visit to you guys at the last meeting, when we sort of talked about the noise and the disruption in the neighborhood, we kind of went back and took a look at the regulations that we saw in place. And I found a copy of some regulations that were revised back on June 11th of 1987. Obviously it was a while ago, and things are different now. There's been some changes in town, but I think they still are a nice way of, to sort of get a handle on the activity up there. And basically, we were coming to the commission tonight to ask them to take a look at these regulations and consider enforcing them. Particularly number 1, where the hours are declared to be sunrise to sunset. Number 11, which talks about parking in designated areas only, without vehicles inside the park or on roads adjacent to the park. Number 12, which talks about radios and cassette players. Obviously things like cassette players are gone now, but the intention here must have been to protect the neighborhood from undue disruption. And number 17, where it basically says that the regulations for group activities, I skipped the use of motorized vehicles, number 16, inside the park. And number 17, which talks about the regulations for group activities falling back to be determined by the Recreation Commission.
I think generators would be included in a noisy thing too.
Yeah, number 12, I mean, it was, I think the intention was to, basically maintain peace in the neighborhood. And I think that, the way that when the boaters came and wanted to get access to the beach, and, the regulations were saying that the park closed at dusk, and obviously there was some insurance liability there, and it was a good, useful tool to control the activity there. And we think that, by applying these rules, a lot of the difficulties that arose last year could be avoided again this year.
Forgot number 18.
Number 18. Oh, well, yes, I didn't, yeah, exactly, yeah. Infractions of this regulation may result in loss of privileges.
Just throw that out. We are aware of these rules, and we did. You are correct. When the boaters came in, that was cited, but you're also correct that the majority of that would have to do with liability for the town. However, that being said, we are aware of these rules. We have cited these before. It's been under discussion for at least a year now, and I will acknowledge to you folks that, again, we are aware of these, and the odds are extremely high that they'll be discussed during this meeting after the public, after you folks cite and state what you want to state. There'll be a thorough discussion on this, among other things as well. So. You've been heard, and we will certainly discuss those.
Yeah, we really feel that it's an opportunity to head off. Things were a little difficult last year, and I think this would restore some balance and some peace for this company.
It's been mentioned endlessly that the park opens at sunrise and closes at sunset. Yeah. For what it's worth. Are you folks with the group too?
Yes.
Okay. I can't give you anything other than what I've just told you, because we'll discuss it at our meeting after we go through the normal list of items agenda. But chances are very good, unless something happens throughout where we get stuck on a certain subject, we'll probably discuss it. This evening.
I take it you guys have copies of all this?
We do,
Great,
we do.
great.
All right.
Excuse me for just
Anything else?
asking, will there be any way that we can find out the results of your discussion? That's it?
It's all on tape.
Oh,
It'll all be there whenever, and you'll see the minutes of the meeting within 7 days. So it can,
Oh, it's minutes, right.
as long as we don't get hung up on a number of different items, I'm fairly sure we'll get to that part of the, we'll get to that topic tonight. Okay? Anything else? Feel free. Okay.
We don't have to.
Thank you, folks.
This is the section.
Minutes. You have them in front of you. It was a, kind of an active.
great.
You all set?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Brodie South, if you guys don't mind. This has been discussed on and off for the last year. You know, and obviously everybody has an opinion on it. It is a park. It'll always be a park. It's going to be used as a park. It's going to be used by all the residents of the town, whether it be youth sports or whether it be just for passive recreation, certainly for active recreation. And there's been a significant amount of discussion over the last year, especially since August time period on through to now, as far as the rules and regulations are concerned about the park. It's been Recreation's position. You guys feel free to correct me if you wish. That the park rules are that it opens at sunrise and it closes at sunset. It's kind of that simple. There's been lights being used up there toward the end of 2010, certainly during 2011. We had let it be known that these are the rules of the park: sunrise to sunset. Basically, the park continued to be used. The rules and regulations were not enforced. We are not an enforcing body, so all we can do is just suggest that they be enforced. And for whatever reason, they've not been. We have had discussions with the groups involved, trying to resolve this. It doesn't appear that there's anything on the horizon. It's my impression and it's my opinion that we put this thing to bed. And we do have the rules and regulations in front of us. We did have this situation with the boaters, albeit a lot of it was liability, understood, but some of it was sunrise to sunset. The skateboarders at one time or another, informally, had come to us and said, hey, do you mind if we put lights up and the kids can do it at night? Sunrise to sunset. Basketball. We had kids playing up there at night. They'd pull their cars up with lights, just like other groups have done. And we said, no, you can't do that. We enforced it with the police. We put up barricades up there so that they couldn't get cars up there. We put an end to the excessive noise with radios, etc., stereos. So that was enforced. Unfortunately, this situation continued throughout the fall, and we tried to remedy it by bringing it to another location. That doesn't seem to have worked. Antolini, if that goes through, will take another year or two. I think what we need to do as a commission, I think we need to either as a group agree to reaffirm these rules or not. I think we need to decide whether we're going to follow them or not. It's become an issue. It's my opinion that we follow the rules. That other groups have asked to use it after dark. We've said no. We've had this situation with youth football as well. We've said no, and it continued to be used. It's unless somebody does something different And unless these are not the official rules of Brodie Park, which includes Brodie Park South, my suggestion is we live by these rules, which means it's sunrise to sunset. It makes it that simple. As far as the Commission is concerned, if we all agree to that, it is now on the table and it is now off the table. It's not our issue. We agree that it's sunrise to sunset. If somebody does something differently, that's beyond our control. There's not much we can do, but as far as we are concerned, we have the authority over the rules and regulations of the park. So I'll throw it out on the table for discussion.
I think it's a
My
good
thought.
idea, John. We're opening ourselves up for a lawsuit. You know, we allow one to do it and not the other one, boom, it's gonna be trouble.
There's been no petition for exception with this and none granted,
That I'm aware of.
then it doesn't seem like there's an
Nobody has
issue.
come to us. Nobody's come to us. You know, we were told that planning and zoning was gonna look at it, then we were told planning and zoning's not gonna look at it. I have no idea. So, again, my point is, let's just simplify this thing. You know, instead of everybody going back and forth, here and there, these are the rules. And why not follow them? They've been followed since
1987.
June 11th of 1987. And I dare say, I don't know that anybody has a real specific reason to change these. You know, the Browns Corner closed at sunset. Basically, as soon as it's dark, everybody's out of there. All the other parks, same way. Anybody else have any other thoughts on this?
I think it's something we have to, I don't like it. You know, I don't like how we've gotten more and more rules, regulations, even though this was 87, you know. When I first came to town, there was a hell of a lot more freedom. But I think we have.
I put together some wording for a motion. So I'd like to make a motion to reaffirm the Brodie Park regulations revised June 11, 1987, attach that to the minutes, and extend them to all areas managed, maintained, operated, or administered to including but not limited to Browns Corner, Chapin Park, and Callahan Park. So we have the same rules for all the parks, and these seem to be as good as we want.
Any other input on this? Anybody disagree? Any comments, concerns, questions? You know, we're all in favor of youth sports, guys. I mean, I don't think there's anybody at this table that's not. I mean, I coached it for 14, 15 years. You did. You know, so many of us were involved in this. You did. So many of us were involved in this. And this is nothing against any group in town. It's you know, we've said no to other groups. And again, this is not poking at one specific group. It's just, it's the rules of the park itself, no matter where it is. So, want to read it again and make a motion? Somebody second it?
I make a motion to reaffirm the Brodie Park regulations revised June 11, 1987. Attach that to this motion.
I'm gonna throw something.
And-
I'm sorry.
and-
The Cub Scouts, they do some overnights out in the field. How is that
Yeah.
affected by this?
Well, I think that,
That's with permission now.
yeah, I think that we may need to address that in the future with some exceptions in timing and whatnot, because there may be instances where it would be appropriate. But,
And Berkshire Hall is used, well, Berkshire Hall is used because it is a building.
right.
And, you know, and the insurance allows it. Because it's made to be used at night.
Well, number 13, unauthorized overnight camping is prohibited. Unauthorized, but if you authorize
Authorize it, yeah,
it, that's covered.
it's covered.
I mean, it's a 1 or 2 times a year,
John, you're gonna give me a
so,
copy of that.
you know, we're not talking about,
It's,
The
give me a
truth
copy
be
of
known,
that.
it's a little more often than that because of the Boy
Yeah,
Scouts.
Yeah,
And we had that brought up when the.
Yeah, that was brought up.
When the yacht club was here, so, I thought we successfully defended that. My only comment is, we went to the trouble of having our resident trooper here when we were dealing with the people that wanted to use the boating area at night. I agree, we're not an enforcement body. Whoever is the enforcement body needs to get behind, to back us on this, and if need be, get the police involved. That's what it took to curb the noise and the nighttime playing at the basketball court.
Right.
And it will take care of the same thing at Brodie South.
I agree, I was just gonna say that if we just do this and reaffirm it, that's all well and good. But they're gonna be back next year, and it's gonna start to get dark, and they're gonna pull their cars up, and they're gonna put their lights on, just like they did this year. And if nobody enforces it, or if the people who are being affected by it don't know who's gonna be enforcing it, it's all moot. We have to make it clear who is the enforcing body, and make sure that they're gonna back us up on this, or else it's all just worthless.
You know, as I said, I think it's just important for the Recreation Commission to just make it known that we are in support of these rules and regulations. And then the enforcement, you know, we can't stand there
yeah.
and make sure people are enforcing it. We need the officials in town to enforce it. So, anybody second it?
So, yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay. What else we got going, guys? Anything?